Howdy, bunghole sniffers. Welcome back to Bourbon and More Bourbon. I'm your host, Hunter, from Tampa, Florida. And today, we are going to be doing one of my most anticipated bottles this year. Not because it's going to be the whiskey of the year or anything like that, because it has a flamingo on it. Okay? This is a rare character uh, blend. This is the 2026 02 release. Um, and I think they started back in 2024. So this is like the third year of them doing these limited releases. Because uh, if you know anything about Rare Character, they're known for their single barrels, and they're kind of like all store picks. So these are super collectible. They have a rye, a bourbon, and an American whiskey. The red wax each year always going to be a bourbon. They do like 11 or 12 of these. They're really hard to keep track of. I think last year they did 11 or 12, maybe even more. But each year they do a new animal. So first year I think was fox. Last year was a wolf. No, shit. Last year was the fox. What was before the fox? We'll figure it out. Let me know in the comments if you remember. But I got I think two of them last year, and they were really good. I also didn't know that they were each release of each of these batches were a different blend of different ages, and they can be from Kentucky and Indiana. So this one comes in at a whopping 59.97% ABV or 119.94 proof. It is a Kentucky Indiana blend, so most likely MGP and then something else like probably Bardstown or um, could be Heaven Hill. I know they source some of their higher end stuff from them. Probably Green River. This is 7 to 9 years. So batch one was like 9 to 17, something crazy like that. I have not seen any of those anywhere. I'm sure they are hard to find. The batch one this year. Batch three and batch four. Didn't like the pictures much. This is the best flamingo so far that I've gotten my hands on. And then the 3,900 bottle count. So um, relatively small batch. On the back of the bottle, our limited batch bourbon is a marriage of some of the best barrels we have encountered in our journeys through the Rick Houses of America. Combo of flavor profiles that achieves greater complexity, depth, flavor together than on their own. They tap into the renowned access to the best barrels, vetted by the strictest criteria. With experience in combining flavors, we are proud to go beyond the barrel with this limited release. We hope you will open and enjoy this bottle amongst friends. Pablo, I'm going to butcher your last name. I think it's Moix. Pablo Moix, might be Pablo Moix, might be uh, Pablo Moix. I think it's Moix. Um, So head blender, owner of Rare Character. Um, but yes, my wife is obsessed with flamingos. I had to get this. She's gonna take the bottle when I'm finished with it and probably turn it into something like a planner or something like that. But yeah, I knew that I could get these probably as many of them as I want as long as they have flamingos on them. Um, but I haven't even poured this yet. I have drinking a lot of this. It is delicioso. All of these have been. I don't think I've tried a bad one yet. But I think the MSRP on these is about $80. So most I'd pay 100 for maybe one of these flamingo ones. I'd pay a little more. But God, beautiful bottle. So before we get into the sniffing and the tasting and the drinking and the wonders of enjoying bourbon, a quick little story time. We just got back from Kentucky trip for my wife's birthday last week. So yes, we just got back from Kentucky. We'll definitely talk more about that. I want to definitely go over some, keys to how to make a great and successful trip to Kentucky, and I want to go over all the places we've been to, some of the bottles I've gotten, and all that. But um, because we're doing Rare Character, and because I got to meet Pablo, um, in the flesh, in person, not at a bottle signing, not at a liquor store where you were expecting to see the guy, just in person. I was at Willett Distillery with my wife day after her birthday, and early too, like kind of. We had an 11 a.m. tour, so did an hour tour, got to try all the normal stuff. Had a great tour guide, beautiful place. Um, Went up to the bar because that's what you do when you go to Willett. You go to the bar at Willett. So definitely when you go to Willett, make a reservation for the bar. And they supposedly have killer food, but we just ate big breakfast. Um, but yeah, we were having some pours, some delicious pours, and my wife and I are talking, and we're talking about people I know, and we're talking about Drew Colsfien, who's like the head distiller at Willett, and I was showing her a picture of one of my friends, and I was like, "Yeah, there's Drew, there's my friend, and hey, that's Pablo." And she's like, "Who's Pablo?" And I said, "Oh, Pablo's the rare character guy." And she's like, "Oh, rare character, you love rare character." She's like, "I didn't know that's what that guy looked like." I was like, "Yeah, he's really cool looking." And then I turn around, I turn to the side. I'm at the left side of the bar, on the corner. She's like going around the corner. I'm on the straight side of the bar, I think, and I think we were both on. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Um, Guy walks up to the right of me. I'm like, that guy looks like Pablo. And then I was like, oh shit, that is Pablo. So I turn to my wife and I'm like, hey, actually, that's Pablo. And she's like, no, you're kidding. And I'm like, no. And she's like, oh yeah, that looks exactly like him. I'm like, yep, that's Pablo. And I was like, I gotta say hi to the guy. So introduced myself. I was like, hey, Pablo, huge fan. Really cool to see you here. Um, just want to tell you, love your stuff and great to meet you. And I really would hate to bother you, but can I get a picture? So I got to take a picture of the guy, and he's really cool, really awesome. He pretended to know who I was. I told him, I'm a very small, getting my feet off the ground influencer. Doing this for 2 months, and I've been tagging him and been interacting back and forth with Rare Character a little bit on Instagram, but I didn't expect him to know who I was, and he pretended to, and I still told him, I'm Hunter from Bourbon and More Bourbon. So he's like, oh yeah. So it was really cool that he pretended to go along with that. But yeah, I'm sure he had no idea who I am yet. But he let me try something, and I can't tell you what it is, but it was the best thing I've ever had. Okay, I not even tell you if it was whiskey or not, but he let me try something in a glass. That'll make it less sound a lot less worse, I think. He put something in a glass for me to do, and it was delicious. But oh well, just wanted to tell you that little story. I got to hang out with them for a second. They were ordering food, so I excused myself and I let them have a good day. Um, got out of their hair. Just told them how appreciative I was and cool he is. And then went back to hang out with my wife, and we went to Preservation, where I got this new tasting glass. Um, Preservation's cool too, but man, Willett, go to Willett. Even if you don't like Willett, they got Dusty's at the bar. They've got good food, and you might meet Pablo or somebody else. So you never know. Dreams do come true. You can manifest real humans into air if you look at their pictures and talk about them, and then pull them out of your head and put them in real life. But that's at least how it feels. So um, let's go in for the sniffer. Let's get into the glass, as they say on this channel sometimes when I don't forget. And immediately, if this is MGP, which it probably 50% is, I'm getting those like fruity, deep dark red fruit notes that I get out of MGP and like Buffalo Trace and other like really good bourbons. What I'm looking for: grapiness, raspberry, cherry. Those are like my favorite fruit notes. Sometimes a little apple, if I'm feeling a little crazy. But this one's coming out 119 something proof. It's not burning me at all. Not burning the sniffer, the old snifferooski. But man, is that fruity. Man, is that oaky. It's got some good vanillas and stuff. Brown sugars. It just smells delicious. It smells like a fruity, chocolatey, sugary dessert. Going for a little tasterooski. That's so dangerous. It's so smooth. It's got a good oil to it. Kentucky hug. So the burn is a little bit on the palate. Getting cinnamon, getting baking spice, allspice, nutmeg. The vanilla is turning into more like a creme brulee. And there's just a tiny bit of chocolate. Chocolate raspberry. The crunchy ones, the good ones. I don't remember what brand it is, but I will take 15 chocolate bars to find the one that I like the best. That's dark raspberry, dark chocolate raspberry. And I'll enjoy it, and then I'll forget what it is. So the next time I have to buy a million dark chocolate bars with raspberries in them. Sucks too because they're all at the same store. I think they're all at um, Whole Foods, and then I never remember which one. They have such a big chocolate section. But yeah, I have to pick like five of those. It's not the Tony ones because those are huge, and they all look the same. They all got that same color, like that dark blue and red and purple. So yes, kind of the notes and noses I'm getting on this. It's from 7 to 9 years. This is almost like a leaning on like a 10 year. This would be a great replacement for that Old Forester 1924. Not gonna lie, because it does have kind of that like early times bottled and bond, just like a little more fruit and flavor on it, or like a Eagle Rare 12, getting some danky, dusty, not dusty. I say dusty too much. Dank, oaky, fruity, brown sugary treat. It's a little thin. It's a little lacking on the finish. This is not an all-star, the best bourbon you're ever going to have, but this is a pretty dang good everyday sipper. If I could find more of these, this could be a go-to. And I probably will find more, just not the same batch. But I'm excited to try some other ones because they have such a variety. There's some that are Kentucky only, some that are Indiana only, and I like the blend one. I don't remember what the last one I got one. I think it was like batch 10 or batch 11. I think it was Indiana, and I think it was 7 to 11 years. Don't hold me to that, but very similar. These are all very consistent, even though the ages can be a little different. But um, highly recommend getting the limited ones, especially if you're new to rare character and you haven't tried the single barrels yet, because those are like a huge lesson in um, single barrel selection. You got to learn the codes, you got to learn which profiles you like, you got to trust the store and who's picking the barrels, and you got to try a bunch of them. So I've had some that are just like kind of they really picked that. This is kind of young, and then some that are like this is BTAC better than BTAC. Um, these should be Brook Hills. Um, I've not had too many of their ryes, but man, the Pink Wax single barrel rye, TKO, is like bubblegum. And then I really like the Rio, the HRK, which stands for High Rye Kelvin, and the KEL, which stands for Kelvin, which those two are both MGP. I think High Rye 36% recipe, and those are all like 10 or 9 to almost 12 years old. So like perfect zone for me. I've got a bunch of those. So we're gonna do more rare character. We're gonna go more into the history. We're gonna talk more about Pablo in some other video. We're gonna shut up. We're gonna do one more taste. We're gonna rank it, give it a rating on the take scale, and then we're gonna finish up. So uh, hopefully not a super long video today. I'm trying. Sorry for the 20+ minute videos in the last couple ones, but all right, let's go in. It's just a delicious bourbon. 8.0. All the right things are there. Everything I like is there. Just, in kind of a 80 out of 100. But God, at least it's a beautiful Flamingo. Thanks again for joining in. Please remember to give us a little like Aruski. Don't unfollow me because I said Aruski like 10 times. I promise I won't do that next video. Subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok. Subscribe, turn on notifications. Sorry. And we'll see you next time.